Hello and welcome all. Welcome to the virtual open event here at BMet on apprenticeships. It will take you on a journey to explore the world of BMet and the course that we have on offer at the college. My name is Jimmy, and some of you might recognise me from attending events in your school to promote the courses we have on offer across our three colleges, which are Matthew Bolton College, James Watt College, and Sutton Coldfield College. Today you'll hear from some of our subject specialists who will tell you more about the apprenticeships on offer here at BMet College. Today we are joined by a massive list of people from our business development team. Those names are Paul, Mike, Jeremy, Denise, Lisa, Zaber, Joel, Tony, and Ricardo. If you have any questions throughout the event, guys, and would like them to be answered, please get them in on the Q&A function just beneath the screen right now. After the presentation, we'll get as many questions answered as we can. Okay, now I'm going to pass over to Paul McKellar from the business development team.
Thanks, Jimmy. Hi, everyone. Thanks for those that have tuned in today. As you know, my name is Paul. I'm part of the business development team, and I just wanted to take a time to get it started. And firstly, I think it's good to know where BMet is and what are we about. A lot of people know us by the name BMet. However, quite a few people who've grown up in Birmingham will probably recognize us by our three main colleges, which are James Watt College, Matthew Bolton College, and Sutton Coldfield College. James Watt pretty much is our center of excellence in terms of engineering and some of the technical trades. We offer a lot of BTECs there, and we offer a lot of programs, like I said, with specialisms in engineering, which I'm heavily involved in. Also as well, we do a lot of construction-based qualifications and apprenticeships that filter over to one of our off-site centers, which is Irvington Skills Center. The good thing about what we do at James Watt is you have a great mixture of employers that invite their apprentices there. So it's an excellent learning experience. And we have a lot of cutting edge technology that can be seen when you come down to visit us where we're in that position. Also, we're tapping into the rail industry and deliver a lot of those courses there as well. With Matthew Bolton, I think everybody probably know, and if not, it's in the center of town. It's what they call in the heart of the learning quarter. I don't know if some of you are familiar with that with that name, but it's not far from any public transportation. Once again, we offer a lot of vocational courses and apprenticeships there. Traditionally, I think a lot of people will know it for the professional services, the business services that we offer. There's a broad range of courses that are available for you. And mainly, I think it's the location that seems to suit a lot of people, regardless where you live in the Birmingham area or the outskirts. Equally, we have Sutton Coldfield College, a little bit more sort of north of Birmingham. Once again, you have a lot of access to train stations, and there's a lot of shops and cafes that are in the area. So no worries when it comes to lunch or having a break. We're just opposite the police station. I think some people know us that way as well. But they've got a great center there for A-levels. There's a lot of professional courses that are also available there, IT, AAT, which is accountancy. We do access courses, higher education. So even though we've got three different locations within BMet as in the primary locations, actually they all have great access. They're easy to get to. You've got an opportunity to do a range of programs, and we cater for any age group really from 16 upwards, which is brilliant. Jimmy, if you can go over to the next slide for us, my friend. Thank you very much. So really, if we can zoom in and look at some of the points of the apprenticeship, for those of you that aren't familiar with apprenticeships, the good thing is it's a chance to earn some money while you learn and you get some on-the-job experience. It's an alternative route for further and higher education. The good thing is it's a choice. You know, nobody's saying directly that you have to go down this pathway, but I think the reality is it gives you a broader scope of programs and courses that are available to you. And for those that want to be in the industry and pick up their skills straight away, it's a nice mixture of being able to gain a qualification and do some on-the-job work. Equally, you've heard me mention that the colleges cover BTECs, which are vocational qualifications. These are all somehow wrapped into the apprenticeship program. And as it says here on screen, you learn a real wage, you learn specific skills, and you gain industry recognition and a qualification. The good thing is as well, unlike say an academic calendar where you start at particular times in the year for a course, apprenticeships run any time of the year. It's really down to what's available, your location, and what's right for you. We'll be able to give you an introduction into the apprenticeship program, but also you get an introduction into the workplace via the apprenticeship program, and you get a great understanding about work culture, about the environment, about communicational skills, everything you need to know to really get embedded into that working environment. The training we do is really delivered through off-the-job and on-the-job training. Typically, I think the normal apprenticeship routine tends to be 1 day at college and 4 days in the workplace. And that's spread over any duration. The minimum period is normally a year onwards. And the great thing is you have the opportunity, once you complete your apprenticeship, to really progress into full-time employment, or equally stay in employment and maybe progress onto a higher level apprenticeship, or equally go back into full-time education if that was your option. So very flexible, great nowadays as well for everybody in terms of the opportunities that are available. And I hope that you find a lot of information today that we give you quite useful. If I can hand this over now to my friend Jeremy, just to pick that one up for us. And thanks, Jimmy, for the slides.
Thanks, Paul. Good morning, everybody. I hope you're all keeping well and safe. As you'll see, actually from the team as we go through this presentation, we are quite a diverse group of people with many, many different life experiences and ages. And as you can see from Paul there, some accents as well in this group as well. But one of the common features is actually a lot of us have been through apprenticeships ourselves. In my case, I did an electronic technician apprenticeship many, many years ago with a company called GEC, one of the largest companies in the world at the time. My role here at BMet is about talking to employers, and it's about looking at those new vacancies, but also looking at training opportunities for existing staff as well. And that also uses apprenticeship funding. So there's many, many different things that we do as a team. My role focuses predominantly at the moment on things like health sector, dental, pharmacy, early years, but also being very diverse, obviously things like rail sector, construction, and even the electric vehicle industry. So we've been exactly where you are now. We've applied for apprenticeships like you have. It's a job, that's the key thing. It's not just a course. Yes, there's a wage involved, so it's at least £4.50, 15 pence an hour. So you're looking at around about £120 a week payment. So it is a job, it's not just a course. And obviously there's some restrictions on that about how you actually get to being an apprentice in the first place. You will get paid holidays and you also have access to top quality training. And that, like Paul mentioned there, it may be 1 day a week, it might be 2 days a week. In some circumstances, that might actually be a full year of being at the college, depending on the sort of sets that you're looking at. Something like engineering may involve the first year as a full-time course at college. But you will be earning while you learn, and that's the big difference between apprenticeships and perhaps the university route. It may take you longer to get, say, a higher qualification, but you will achieve there. It might take you just a few more years. And I'm sort of typical of that because, I ended doing a master's degree many, many years later, but didn't go through the typical university route. I went through the apprenticeship route. Thanks, Jerry. Next slide, mate. Thank you. I just want to bust another myth if possible, and that is the fact that apprenticeships aren't just for 16-year-olds. There are certain restrictions, obviously, things like in the rail industry, working on trackside, you do need to be 18. And even in the likes of health, there might be some restrictions there. And I know I've come across electrical apprenticeships where they work in licensing and gambling facilities, which you do need to be 18. So just be mindful of that you may have to have some restrictions on age, but generally, apprenticeships are open for absolutely everybody. The key thing for me, and the thing I say when I'm talking to students and potential students, is about research. Research the job, research the company that you're possibly applying for as well, and use us as some of that sort of experience, because obviously we've been there. But there may be different entry levels into getting different jobs and different apprenticeships. The key one for me is obviously making sure you get your English and maths, and that at the moment is sort of a common sort of terminology is about grade 4 and above. English and maths are absolutely critical because a lot of companies do have those as general qualifications as part of the entry route. Other qualifications, other jobs may require things like sciences or engineering, and actually some of them may need some previous experience. Typical example of that is construction industry, where they may require someone who's perhaps done a 12-month course at college before they jump onto an apprenticeship. But do that groundwork, do that research, because that's really, really, really crucial. So build up your knowledge, aim for those qualifications and research those qualifications that you need. Prepare for the interview, because you will have an interview with the college and you will have an interview with the employer. So again, just make sure you brush up on those skills. But generally, good luck. Use our website, use our team, our diverse team for experience, and hopefully we'll see you in the near future. I'm going to pass on to Mike now, and he's going to talk about progression levels and levels of apprenticeships. Thanks very much.
Good morning, everybody. Welcome. I'm speaking to you actually live from our campus this morning. I haven't been here for a while, and driving in this morning, it just reminded me what a great and inspirational place it is to learn and to study and to develop your skills of the future. What I'm going to discuss here with you today is about your career pathway, how employers value you, and really the levels of apprenticeship that we have here at Birmingham Metropolitan College. You'll see from this screen that we do apprenticeships right from level 2 all the way through to level 6. It's difficult to draw comparisons to GCSE and academic qualifications, but if you look at a level 2 would typically be at your GCSE level, GCSE level, level 3 A level, moving through level 4, 5 and up to level 6, which is a degree level. So your employers, your apprenticeships can study any of them punctuated levels across the apprenticeship. Jimmy, if we can just move on a bit through this slide, please. So as I said, 5 different levels of apprenticeship, all with its own different entry criteria and all with their very different own specialisms across the technologies and across our business and medical sectors. Moving on again, Jimmy, if you would please. Back on to most of our employers will actively push you to do the best you can and move you on to the highest level and progress through the apprenticeship structure. And if you're lucky enough to get into higher education courses at level 4, 5 and 6, your employers will sponsor you through that. So again, focusing on no student debt, going on to university, but being employed to do so and being paid while doing it. Jimmy, if we can just move on again. Most of our apprenticeships can lead to permanent positions. Your employers that we work with will be taking you on to fill skills gaps within their organisations. So most definitely your employers will be looking to take you on at the end of your apprenticeship into full-time positions. Okay, Jimmy, if you can move it on, please. Here we celebrate some of our apprenticeships that have gone through Birmingham Metropolitan College and some of the employers. If we look at the left, we've got Rittick. Rittick works for a local company called Hydroforce. Rittick has excelled and started off as a level 3 apprenticeship. He's moved through his apprenticeship and his career at Hydroforce and has just completed his level 5 foundation degree. Rittick has taken an active part of college life as well. So he also sits as a student governor on our governor's board. So very much he takes back his learning experience to BMet, so he feeds back in that feedback at the very highest level. In the middle, we have Jessica, who works at BMW's engine plant over at Hams Hall. Jessica has just completed her apprenticeship. She's moved on to be a fully qualified engineering technician at BMW, and circa she's on around £35,000 to £40,000 a year. She also has just finished her foundation degree and is looking to move on to her degree in professional engineering at one of our local university partners. And on the far right hand side, we have Ricardo. Ricardo, you're going to hear from later. Ricardo currently is an apprentice within our business development here at BMet, and he started off on his level 2 apprenticeship. He works as a recruitment assistant within our recruitment team, and he's looking to move forward onto his level 3 apprenticeship now, and really will become a key foundation within the team that supports other apprentices into apprenticeships at BMet and with the employers we work with. I'm going to hand you on to a very important person now, Joel Harrison. Joel was our apprentice up until 2 years ago, where he secured a full-time position within the business development team and now works as an employer contact officer. So I'm going to hand you over to Joel now.
Yeah, so just to pick off where Mike left off, so I'm sort of a current and sort of an ex-apprentice at Birmingham Metropolitan College. So just sort of quick run through this slide, and then I'll give you just a brief story on myself. So there are plenty of opportunities available at Birmingham Metropolitan College, as you can see on the slide. So again, I know sort of Paul mentioned at the James Watt campus, we've got a lot of our engineering sort of activity going over there. Sort of accounts, business, all sort of offered from both Matthew Bolton and Sutton Coldfield. But through all of that, I mean, Ricardo will touch on it a bit later in the presentation as well. He'll sort of teach you sort of how to go through and apply. You can see from our website all the different apprenticeship opportunities that we offer and sort of what campus they are actually offered from. So just obviously bear that in mind before you apply. So if you think about doing engineering, but you're more so based over Sutton Coldfield way, you probably will have to make your way over to the James Watt campus for example, for the day release at college. So yeah, just to give you a brief sort of introduction on myself. So I sort of came out of school, so pretty much I imagine some of you guys will be in the same sort of boat. So I went from my GCSEs to do my A-levels and then sort of completed my A-levels in 2015. Definitely knew I didn't want to go to university, even though my sort of parents were sort of pushing me that way. So again, another key thing to sort of focus on is make sure it's the right decision for yourself. But yeah, so sort of did business studies at A-level, seemed to be my best grade, so that's what I sort of wanted to sort of pursue, and ended up sort of applying for sort of plenty of opportunities in business administration and securing a position with the college as an apprentice recruitment advisor. Sort of main reasons me choosing that, again, sort of didn't want to stop my learning, sort of came out of A-levels, still wanted to sort of continue my learning, so apprenticeship offers that opportunity. Obviously wanted to get paid, which is probably a big sort of factor for a lot of you people who are sort of looking to get straight into the working world. Obviously sort of getting paid whilst getting that qualification. And as well, I just wanted that sort of work experience. I really didn't feel like I was able to sort of apply for full-time positions because my work experience had been sort of Saturday jobs, sort of part-time jobs whilst I was at school. I didn't really have any proper work experience behind me, so sort of thought an apprenticeship was a great opportunity to get me some work experience. So should that route sort of not be sort of what I wanted to go down at the end of it, I've got some work experience as well, a qualification to move forward as well. So yeah, went through my level 2 and then was sort of taken on from my level 3 after. So I completed my level 2 after about 12 months. And then they offered me the opportunity to go into my level 3 in business administration as well. And then roughly after about sort of 18 months, I completed that. And then was sort of taken on full time in my current role, which is an employer contact officer. And then just so sort of following on, you can do an apprenticeship at any age. So sort of currently 23 now. And I've just sort of undertaken a level 6 apprenticeship at the college in sort of careers advice and guidance. So plenty of opportunities, and as long as you put in the graft, there's opportunity with those employers in order to sort of carry on or sort of potentially go into different avenues as well. So yeah, that's pretty much it from me. I know I can talk very fast, so if you do have any questions, by all means sort of pop them through to myself at the end. So I'll now hand you over to my lovely Lisa from the recruitment team for the next slide. Thank you.
Thank you, Joel. Hello everybody, thank you for joining us today. I'm just going to run through quickly how to initiate your application. So the first thing you need to do is to apply on the BMet website, which the link is on the screen. You can just put it into Google and it should come up with that link. Then you find a suitable apprenticeship for yourself, make your application, and then you will be required to attend an interview with BMet. And then you'll get passed on to the vacancy matching team, which is myself and my colleague Ricardo, who you will speak to later. Then it's sort of our job to match you to employers that would suit you and to make sure that you're happy with the apprenticeship that you've chosen. So we will help you find an employer. Thanks, Jimmy. Next screen. So to apply on the Gov website, again, the link is below. This is a slightly different way. This is through another website rather than our own BMet website, but either way it's fine. So again, you find the suitable apprenticeship for yourself, and in some cases you may have to do an application form, depends on what vacancy it's advertising. Again, you will have to attend the interview with BMet, and you'll get passed on to us again if you're suitable, and again we'll help you find an employer. Okay. And then we do offer careers advice and support. We offer help with university applications, CV preparation and interview techniques, which is something that I run as a little workshop for people that come into the talent bank as new candidates. And then we guide you through the maze of job applications and choosing your ideal career. We've got excellent facilities. We've invested an incredible 20 million in redeveloping and refurbishing our sites in Birmingham by improving facilities and providing state-of-the-art workspaces and classrooms for students and staff. We also have partnerships and employer links with some of the biggest employers and partnerships with leading universities to help you secure your future. Now, just as Joel did, I was actually an apprentice as well. So I did both my level 2 and level 3 business admin with the college. I've since then moved on to do my level 3 team leading apprenticeship, which I'm currently doing alongside a full-time job. So I myself can really sort of promote apprenticeships, because I think if it wasn't for those qualifications that I've received, I wouldn't have got the job that I've got now, which I love. So thank you for listening to that, and I hope you find your successful job. And now I'm going to move you on to Paul again.
Hi everyone, it's me, Paul again. I hope you're enjoying this so far. And as Jimmy said to start off with, there's going to be a time for you guys to ask us some questions towards the end. I just wanted to take this time to talk about some of the employers. Just give you a few examples. I mean, these employers range from a small employer who probably employs something like 30, 40 staff, to medium employers that might have 50, 60, 70 staff, to large employers that are 250 plus, in some cases thousands and thousands. It's interesting to see, once we look at some of these examples, that realistically salaries aren't really attached to the size of a business. They're really down to what the company can offer. Also as well, the type of job you receive isn't always down to the size of the employer. It's really, like I think the guys that said throughout, about finding an opportunity that's right for you. And also things like location, you know, how long does it take you to get to an employer? What sort of travel time do you have to engage or be involved with to get there? And is it feasible for you? So for example, if you look at somebody like West Midlands Railway, that's the first one here. These guys are obviously a large employer. And this position was for a rail engineer technician, something I think we mentioned, delivered at James Watt, purely because of the nature of the qualifications, an engineering qualification. And as you can see here, the salary is about 15K. And it does what it says on the tin in terms of, you know, you're talking about maintaining, developing new tracks across the West Midlands. And, you know, they maintain this to a high level of, a high standard, I should say, and also with health and safety being a primary concern. So somebody like this company, we work with quite regularly. And there's a lot of attention to it purely because of the HS2 links and a lot of the things that are going on at the moment. Whereas if you look at the second example here, Bennett's Landscape, which is on screen already if you can see it. Bennett Landscape is fantastic because they're a small employer who literally started off looking for horticulture apprenticeships, but due to the success of the apprenticeship program and the willingness of the employer to take on more apprentices, it then expanded into not only horticulture, but business admin, accounts apprenticeships, and their salary is about 11K and upwards. And these guys, absolutely brilliant business, local Birmingham business. And once again, they've seen how it benefits them, and they've kind of really opened up their doors to move forward and take on more apprentices. Somebody like Empire, letting property team, also a small employer. And they've once again tapped into the whole sort of attitude that employers have nowadays, that it's really worthwhile to take on an apprentice. They want to have somebody in the business that they can train, they can support, they can mentor. As you can see here, this is for business administration. Salary is about £9,000-10,000. But you know what? These are great places to start. And it's not really about the salary, I think, initially. It's about being able to get your foot through the door, earning that experience, getting a bit of money, and being able to progress from there in your career. And then finally, we've got BMP Powerbar, which is for an IT engineer. So once again, very popular at the moment, something that's also delivered at Sutton Coldfield. Salary here would be, as you would imagine, a little bit more substantial for the nature of the role. But once again, this is really down for people that are interested in IT and can see an opportunity for them, and they're a large employer. So all the benefits would come with working for these large employers would involve the range of the job that you'll have, would involve the location perhaps. And like all of these employers, they're committed to taking on apprentices. So it's not about getting somebody into a job where you feel you're not carrying out the role. For them, it's about training you, guiding you, mentoring you, and hopefully you become the next best thing in their business. And finally here, we've got BMW. Goes without saying, everybody knows who BMW is. Their salaries, as you can see, range from 13,900 to 26,000 pounds. They're level 3 and higher in terms of their apprenticeship qualifications that they offer. And, you know, what more can I say? It's BMW. So you can see here, looking at the range of employers that we've just given you an example of, that you can work from a small employer, 20, 30 people, to the likes of BMW, hundreds of thousands of people, global company, and they all have one common denominator: the fact that they're keen to recruit apprentices, they're motivated to support apprentices, and they're willing to get these people into the business. And I think that's the one thing we want to put across today, that, you know, it's not just about saying, hey, I want to do an apprenticeship. It's really thinking about, where do you want to go? What's it going to lead to? You might start in an apprenticeship. You might end up spending 3 or 4 years there. Who knows? But the opportunities are endless right now. And on that, I'm going to put you on to an apprentice. Ricardo was absolutely part of our team. The guy's fantastic, well loved by everybody. So Ricardo, jump on in there, my friend.
Thanks for that, Paul. So yeah, my name's Ricardo, and I work alongside Lisa in the recruitment team. We're just gonna run through what an apprenticeship is and how to apply online. Jimmy? So yeah, so the ways we'll be looking at applying online will be using a laptop and using a smart device, so a tablet or an iPhone. Once you go onto a web browser and type in our website, which is www.bmet.ac.uk, it will bring you to our homepage, which looks something like this. Along the top side, you will see a few links about BMet, but we'll be looking at courses and apprenticeships. If you just hover your cursor over courses and apprenticeships, it should have a drop down menu which says a few of the things we offer. If you just click on, hover over your mouse onto apprenticeships, Jimmy. Okay, so for the next bit, it would just be getting you up to the same place as you was on the laptop. So this is for a smartphone, Jimmy. So yeah, similar to the laptop, if you type in our website onto Safari or a web browser, it should bring you to our website, which looks similar to the laptop. If you just click on the menu at the top right hand side, Jimmy. Okay, it should have this, which is similar to the drop down menus. It should say course and apprenticeships. If you click on that, and then it should have another drop down menu where it says our apprenticeship programs. If you click on that, okay, this will be all the our apprenticeship programs. So it should have a little bit about apprenticeship programs, just a brief introduction. And then if you scroll down, it should say all the apprenticeship programs that we offer, so the subjects. Once you find one that catches your eye from the title, if you want to look into it a bit more, if you click course details, Jimmy, it should bring you to this page where it will give you a brief summary of the course details, the requirements, what the apprenticeship is going to be like, and how long it's going to be roughly, depending on the level you choose. So once you're happy to proceed, along the right-hand side should be where you would apply. So there's two options: apply to start now and apply to start in the next academic year. Applying to start now is really just if you are ready to do an apprenticeship as soon as possible. For most apprenticeships, you can do one anytime within the year. For some, it may be you have to do one separate parts of the year, or it could be at the start of the next academic year. For the start in September, that's for more people that are school leavers, haven't yet reached the age of 16, or have other commitments on the side and can only do an apprenticeship after September. Okay, so I'm going to hand you over to Jimmy now for Q&A. Thank you.
Folks, I'm back. Hope you didn't miss me here too much, but I'm back. So guys, live Q&A now. Hope you've enjoyed it so far, the session so far. I know it's been super informative for me personally. I might have to now leave this position I'm in, start an apprenticeship myself, but no one else knows that. Sorry. So guys, questions are coming in. I'm going to get the first one coming up now. Who's it from? I'm not going to say their name, just to keep their identity safe. The first one is, when will we get our interviews from BMet? So when will we get our interviews from BMet for apprenticeships? That's the first question. We're going to go over to one of our team. It's going to be Denise. Over to you for that question.
Hi everybody, and thanks for joining us today. Really appreciate that you've taken some time out to listen to the team. So in terms of your interview, as Ricardo and Lisa touched on, you need to have the actual interview of our curriculum team. So they're the tutors that you'll be seeing once you enroll onto the apprenticeship. So as soon as you apply online, what will happen then, you will be notified by our student services team, and they will arrange for an appointment for you to meet with our curriculum. Now, in normal circumstances, of course, you'd be coming into the college of wherever it is that they deliver that apprenticeship. So as the team's already touched on, for example, if you wanted to apply for business admin, we deliver that at our Sutton Coldfield campus and our Matthew Bolton campus. If it was a course that was only delivered at James Watt, you'd be invited there. So at the moment, due to the COVID-19, the interviews are taking place by telephone. So once you have that interview with the curriculum member, they will run through with you a little bit more in depth about what the programme entails, what you can expect, and make sure that you have the correct entry requirements. Now, for those of you that are waiting for your grades this summer, don't worry, still apply now, and we will contact you so that once you have your grades in August, then hopefully you're successful. Then once you've had your interview with the curriculum team, you will then be, your application then gets passed over to our recruitment. So that's Lisa, Ricardo, and another member that's not with us today. And they work with you very closely in trying to match you with the right employer. Okay, I think I've covered everything on that side. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Right then, thanks Denise. Next question's coming in. We've got loads coming in. Hopefully we'll get them all in before we finish. The next one is, if you live a far distance from Sutton Coldfield College, could we have an employer closer to home? Can this one go to this one? Can go to that person? Let's change it. 1 second. This one's going to go over to our very own Mike.
Hi. So in answering that question, we work with a number of companies across the region. So you don't have to live near to one of our campuses to get an apprenticeship. You can work with an employer across the region. I think the thing you need to bear in mind that with most apprenticeships, you will need to come to college. So although you might work away, your employer may not be by Sutton College or one of our campuses. You will have to travel there predominantly on a 1 day a week basis, or maybe more than that during your apprenticeship. So yes, you can have an employer that's closer to your home, but you will need to move closer. You will need to come to college at some point during your apprenticeship to complete your skills, knowledge and behaviour. Okay, John.
Thank you, Mike. Thank you very much. We're now going to go back to myself. And here's me on the camera. Now, there we go, back. Right, guys, next question then is, I've done my GCSEs now and waiting results. Does that mean I choose a level 2 or a level 3 apprenticeship? That's a great question. I want to find that out. Who's this one going to? This one is going to Mr. Paul. Over to you, Paul.
Yeah, well, I think it is a good question, and it depends really, because if you meet the minimum requirements, which in most occasions are 3s or 4 in maths and English, and in some cases you might need to have ICT or other qualifications alongside it. If you meet the minimum requirements, then you can start at least a level 2. But clearly, when you come to see us and we sit down and have a discussion with you, what we'll look at is things that you've already done, where your interests lie. And on some occasions, we have people that go straight on to a level 3. So I wouldn't want to say that it's a definitive answer in terms of everybody has to do a level 2 first, but it really depends on the results. You know, if you're hitting the minimum 3s and 4s, obviously if you get higher level, higher results on the maths and English, then you can obviously start at a level 3. But it would depend on the initial assessment and the conversation we have with that candidate to make sure that they meet the requirements. And equally, you know what? From my experience, it's all about making sure that the course is right for you. And I think Mike said it as well, alongside with the location, alongside with what you want to do. We try to give you that advice and guidance to really help you make the right decision.
Thank you, Paul. Thank you very much. We're now going to go back to myself, which is here. There's me. Next question, guys. We've got loads coming in, as I said. The next question is, my uncle says I can get an apprenticeship with him when I leave school. Now, how can this be arranged? So my uncle said I can get an apprenticeship with him. How can this be arranged? This one is going to go to Jeremy.
Right, yeah, that's really good that you've got an employer that's willing to take you on. And that, to be honest, that helps us an awful lot. I think in terms of the process, what would happen is that we would probably need to come out and see your uncle just to explain to him the regulations and perhaps restrictions in place, just to make sure that everyone's happy with what's going on. Because it's a three-way agreement. It's an agreement between the college, the employer, and obviously yourself as the student. Just want to make sure that you're in a safe environment. So that includes things like a health and safety assessment. And normally what tends to happen then is once we're happy with your uncle or employer is aware of all the implications and the fact that you need to make sure he pays you the right amount, which is £4.15 and above. Then we would get you into the college to have a chat with our curriculum team, and they would just go through the ins and outs of the actual qualification. And again, depending on the level, making sure that you're aware of what's required. And there's also, I mean, another example is the electrical apprenticeship. We just make sure that if it was electrical, that you were going down, that the scope of work that you do with your uncle covers the apprenticeship program, because none of us want to see anyone sort of be set up to fail. We want to make sure it's the right apprenticeship for you every time. So basically, we just do some checks and balances, really. But there's absolutely no way that couldn't happen if everything was okay. So yeah, great. Let us know, and we'll go out and see your uncle and come and see you.
Thank you very much, Jeremy. Okay, so the next one is, if I have a learning difficulty, would I be able to receive help if I ask for it, or would that affect my apprenticeship? Good question. I'm going to get this over to you, Denise, now. We're going to find Denise. There she is. Over to you, Denise.
Hello. Yes, we work with students that have a range of either disabilities or they need additional support. So we take that very serious as a college and training provider, and we would work with you to support whatever those needs are. We would obviously ask that you declare that at the time of your interview. So, for example, if somebody was dyslexic or needed some additional support, we've got a team that can provide that support. So again, whether it be support such as that or a disability in terms of physical disability, either way, we can help on that side of it. But the main point is, I do ask people to be upfront and honest, because we can't help if you don't tell us. So that's the main thing, to let us know as soon as possible on that. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Denise. Next question then. So, what do we do in the one day we have at college every week? What do we do in the one day we have at college every week? This one is going over to Mr. Joel. Over to you, Joel, mate.
Hi there, I'm hoping you can hear me. So I know my mic was playing up originally, but I'm hoping you can hear me. So yeah, in answer to that question, it really does vary. So it's going to depend on what sort of course you sort of look to do. So what sort of apprenticeship you look to go down. It can vary. So just for example, so on my apprenticeship, I was sort of coming on for 1 day a week at college. And what I was sort of tending to do is we'd have, say for example, we do one particular unit, we would have maybe 4 or 5 sort of sessions. My day release was on a Tuesday, so I'd have 4 sort of Tuesdays on the trot, sort of learning towards a particular unit that you're sort of studying. Obviously the teacher's giving you all the sort of support on the day. What you sort of tend to find in the classroom, it's a lot of sort of interactive learning with the sort of tutors there. So there'll obviously be some sort of work that you're doing from booklets, but a lot of the time it's sort of question and answer as well, sort of in the classroom. Just sort of obviously looking to get your knowledge up. So and then at the end of that, you normally have sort of small exams. So I say the word exams always sort of puts people off, but it's more so, I say for this specific example of business administration, you would go into the test, and obviously at the end of that test, should you be successful, that unit would be ticked off. For whatever reason, should you not be successful for that unit, you would then sort of come to study that art sort of a bit later on, sort of throughout the year anyway. So again, not sort of too much of a problem if you fell on that front. It can be different with engineering, as an example. So sort of engineering sort of do sometimes block release, so you won't always be sort of on a day release. So again, at the point where you sort of go for that interview, if you sort of apply for an interview and you have that sort of telephone interview, I always think interviews are a great time, not only for us to interview you, but for you to interview us as well. So you can find out a bit more about the course itself, to make sure you know it's going to be the right thing. So again, sort of touching on someone's question earlier, if they live a bit far away, if block release is going to be a problem, obviously it's useful sort of finding that information out up front. But again, it really just sort of depends on the sort of course that you're looking to go into. Obviously, you're not going to be doing what I was doing on a business administration apprenticeship if you're doing a dental apprenticeship or a pharmacy apprenticeship. So really good opportunity, I would say, is obviously do some research online as well. So some of the things that you will be studying. So Institute of Apprenticeships is a great website to visit, just in terms of finding out some more information about the courses. And obviously you've got the BMet website as well. And as I say, if you've got any questions, get an interview, sort of get your application and get an interview arranged with one of our curriculum team, and have some questions lined up ready for those sort of course specialists there.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Joel. So guys, next question then. Loads of questions coming in there, so we have to just keep scrolling up to the top where the first ones come from. So the next one is, I am interested in a BMet apprenticeship, which is a good start. Where do I find vacancies online? Where's this one going to go to? This one's going to go over to our very own Lisa.
Hi everyone. The application, the vacancies can be found either on our BMet website, or you can look directly on the Gov website, which is National Apprenticeships. So the National Apprenticeships will have vacancies from all training providers, so it won't just be BMet, it will be everyone. Whereas our own BMet website will be our own specific vacancies. As I touched on earlier, you can apply either way, so you can apply directly through the BMet website, or you can go onto the National Apprenticeships website and apply that way. And as I mentioned earlier, there's 2 ways you can do it. Some vacancies will require you to just click through to our BMet website. Other vacancies, such as the West Midlands Trains one that we've just, that's just not long been closed. That was application, so you would have to do an application and send it off to us. But those are where our vacancies can be found.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Lisa. So next question, guys. Oh, this is a good one, actually. This is an unusual one, but it's a good one. What if my apprenticeship ends prematurely because the company goes bust? Ooh, that's a good one. I'm going to hand you over now to Mike.
Hi there. That is an interesting question. Firstly, as a team and our recruitment function, we try to work with companies that we screen them to really, look to see that you're going to be working with a good company and that's going to see you through your entire apprenticeship. So at first, we really try to do that. However, in unusual times that we're in, should something like that occur, we would very much support you to try and find you a similar role in another company so you continue your studies. And it's as simple as that. You would receive support from BMet as a college to try to help you try and find another employer to finish off your apprenticeship and hopefully progress onto a full-time role with that company. Okay, Jimmy.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Mike. So next question then we've got coming in. Let's have a look. Loads, absolutely loads coming in. Next one is quite a long one, this one is. So I've applied for 2 apprenticeships and my one in IT software and telecoms, I missed my online interview. So I called and I was told to put on the holding list to go forward. But then I was asking, should I worry if I've missed them? So I think to apply for 2 apprenticeships, this person has, for an IT software and telecoms. He's missed his online interview, I'm guessing here. Should he be worried about any more phone calls coming into him? Any more ideas? This one's going to go over to Lisa. Lisa, I'm going to give you the stand.
Yeah, if you can, again, it's difficult to know what sort of where along the line in the process you are. So I think the best thing for this one is if you would email apprenticeships@bmet.ac.uk. Just with all your details, we can check our system and check where you are in the process. That's the best thing to do for that one.
Thank you very much, Lise. Makes sense. That makes sense. Brilliant. Next one is, how long are different apprenticeships? So how long are apprenticeships minimum, maximum? Is it 2 years? Is it 42 years? I wouldn't want to do that for that long. But how long are they in general? This one's going to go over to our very own Joel.
Hi, yeah, it's a great question. It's a sort of similar question I was sort of wondering when I was applying for apprenticeships as well. So again, as I said with my sort of answer, it does depend on the sort of apprenticeship you are looking to go into. So typically for a level 2, which is where I started off, that's sort of roughly around sort of 12 to 15 months in terms of getting that sort of completed. So that's what you're sort of looking at for the sort of level 2. Level 3, again, this is sort of typically, so I will just sort of stress that they sort of can sort of differ between different sort of courses. So again, make sure you do your research sort of when you're applying. But typically for level 3, you're looking at sort of 18 to 24 months. But again, for example, with an engineering apprenticeship, you can be doing sort of 3 to 4 years potentially on a sort of level 3. So it really does vary on what you're sort of looking to go into. So definitely do your research on those sort of particular sort of apprenticeships. And then sort of again from sort of level 4 onwards, they can sort of vary from sort of 2 to 4 years. So it's one thing I would say is just really do sort of research into the area that you are sort of looking to go into. So I appreciate some of you may be thinking, oh, you know, I may want to sort of try an apprenticeship for a year just to see what it's like. Make sure you do sort of do research, because you could be applying for a position that may be sort of lasting for 2 or 3 years. So so yeah, the main thing for that is do your research on the sort of particular sort of vacancy that you're looking to go into. And again, if you want to sort of maybe drop a query over, so we've got the apprenticeships inbox as sort of Lisa sort of suggested. There's also the training at bmet.ac.uk. So that's another email which sort of I pick up. So if you've got any specific questions, so if you say, hi, just looking to find out how long would a business administration apprenticeship would be, obviously we can sort of go into a bit more detail on that for you as well.
Thank you, Joel. Thank you very much. We're now going to come back to me. I'm on the screen again. So another question we've got coming in now. We've got loads, to be fair, to get through. We've only got 8 minutes left, so I'm going to try and get through as quick as possible now. Next one is, what kind of person do you need to be on an apprenticeship? Because I'm quite shy. Now, at 16, when I left school, I think I felt like that as well. I felt pretty shy. So that's what's a really good question to ask. This one is going to go over to our very own Tony Smith.
Hello. It's a good question. Thank you, Jimmy. I think, to be honest, it can be any kind of person. I don't think the whole point of an apprenticeship is it molds you and makes you into a professional moving forward in your life. So the whole point is to develop you as a person. So yeah, you can be, as long as you've got a bit of motivation, a bit of drive, and that ambition and will to want to actually learn and earn a bit of money, shyness really doesn't come into it, because that will eventually come out of you just by working within the working environment, essentially.
Thank you very much. Is it back to me on the microphone? I can see myself now. There's me. Right, wicked. The next question then we're going to go to is, do you need references from school? That's a really good one, that is. Do you need references from school? We're now going to have a think about which member of the team is the best person for it. This person is going to be Lisa. Very own Lisa. Now we're going to hand you over to Lisa. Here we go.
Thank you again for another question. With regards to references, when when you're successful for an interview with the employer, it works pretty much like when you have a job with an employer. So you will need references. If you haven't got any work specific references, so if you haven't had any work experience or you haven't had a full-time job, you can get either a teacher or I think you can still use like a sort of a family friend. I'm not too sure on that one, but there's definitely ways around. If you haven't got a professional reference, you can get sort of a teacher or someone of a friend, I think. But yeah, so you can get around not having a professional reference in that aspect.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Back to me. Here we go. Right, guys. So one more question here. We've got, can I have the email to contact BMet? Specifically to you guys, maybe. Who's the best person to answer this for email addresses? What's the best one? I mean, so far, guys, what we've got on the screen for you is our general one, which is ask@bmet.ac.uk, along with all of our other social media places we can get in contact with for any of your queries. Okay, so hopefully I've answered that for you guys. I know Joel's touched upon training also at bmet.ac.uk, but do ask us on the ask@bmet.ac.uk, as you guys can see on the screen just next to the YouTube side as well. Now we're going to move on to the next question. I want to do my A-levels at school. Does BMet have many level 4 apprenticeships? We're now going to go over to Mike on this.
Yeah, thanks for the question. And I know it's a difficult choice for people who are doing their GCSEs or due to get their results this August. What I'd say is A-levels are really great. And if you're going on to A-levels, once you've completed your A-levels, you can still move on to apprenticeships. BMet offer, as I said, a number of apprenticeships from level 3, 4, 5, and up to level 6. If you wanted to go on to a level 6 apprenticeship or if you wanted to go on to level 4 or 5 apprenticeship, you would need to complete your A-levels first, or alternatively start one of our level 3 apprenticeships and progress onto a level 4 afterwards. So if you want to progress onto a level 4, start a level 3 apprenticeship. But if you want to go directly into a level 4 or higher apprenticeship, you do need to complete them A-levels first, of which, of course, you can study A-levels at Birmingham Metropolitan College as well. Over at our Sutton campus, we offer a wide range of A-levels and applications are open from them now. Okay, Jimmy.
Thank you very much, Mike. Thank you very much. Now I'm going to come back to myself, which is me on the screen. So, guys, next question then. We've got, in fact, it's 4 minutes left now, guys. 4 minutes left. Not been looking at the time, apologies. So 4 minutes left. Let's try and get cracking through. So, do you still get the same school holidays? Do you still get the same school holidays? Are you going to take this one out of our team? Ooh, that's a good question, that is. I'd love to get the same school holidays, but I don't think you do on the occasion for apprenticeships. This one is going to go to our very own Jeremy Clay. Over to you, Jeremy.
Thanks, Jimmy. I think basically, because you were working as an employed person for your employer, then obviously you're bound to their holidays, as opposed to what were the old school holidays of sort of end of June or through to September. There will be times when you won't be coming into college if there's, for example, half term and end of term. But normally, what tends to happen is your employer would call you back. A typical example is some of the work we do with the rail companies, rail engineering. During the half term and term times, they'll go back into depot to work. So you will have possibly, 20 days plus holiday at least through your employer, but yeah, you won't have the same holidays. If the college is closed, you probably end up going back to your employer.
Thank you very much. Here we go. Back onto me. Back onto boring old me. There we go. Right, guys. One more question then. 1 more question. 3 minutes left. Let's go. So, how do you get paid? That's an absolute myth. We're going to go over now to our very own Ricardo. Is Ricardo still with us? Ricardo, are you still there with us, mate?
Yeah. So to get paid is basically down to the employer. You're going to be on their payroll system, so you'll get paid just exactly like every other employer in the business, really. So be through direct debit, bank account. There's really not much to say about this one. It's just like a normal job. So yeah.
Simple, straight to the point, Ricardo. That's what I like. It's perfect. I'm going to come back onto myself now and close it up. There I am. Thought I went missing then, but I'm back. Right then, guys. Nearly there now, nearly there. With 2 minutes to go towards the very, very end. Thank you very much, guys, for getting all your questions in. Really appreciate it. If you've got any more questions to ask us, guys, and I'm pretty sure you have, get us on, you've got 2 email addresses here, got the ask@bmet.ac, which you can see on the screen, or the training@bmet.ac.uk. You can get us on that, get all your queries over to us and we'll get them answered. Okay? We'll now move on to the next slide. So guys, if you want to find out more information about what's on offer across BMet as a whole, visit our website on bmet.ac.uk. Here you will see a mixture of courses and opportunities available at the colleges and also other college sites as well. So finally, guys, just to wrap up, we've got a short poem here from one of our very own students and also an apprentice in the past as well before, Shofumi, on a poem about apprenticeships. Sit back and relax, get your bottle of pop next to you, and let's go.
I want to tell you about where I am. But to explain where I am, I must start from where I was. Where I was a confusing place, a house of mirrors with my sweaty face in every reflection. With sixth form fading and uni looming, my heart beating and booming with everyone assuming they know what's best for me. How could they know what's best? Well, I scrolled and researched different websites and brochures, reading till my eyes hurt. So I wandered through the motions, not quite hopeless, somewhat down, looking out for some direction, trying to find a different route. So I took matters into my own hands, and that's when it finally clicked. The bulb was lit, apprenticeship, yes, that is it. I told my parents they should sit while I spoke on the path I picked. Honey, your grades are so good. Isn't that for kids with no hope? The only way you can get a good job is with a degree. Okay, you guys need to relax. Now, business administration is my preferred occupation. And with this apprenticeship, I can gain my qualifications. I can actually do the work while I learn from day to day, not to mention the lovely little fact of getting paid. I know you have your preconceptions. I think you misunderstood. Just because the road's less traveled doesn't mean that it's not good. Now, I've given this lots of thought, and this is what I really want. An apprenticeship is how I choose to get my start. Now, where I am is employed with a heart full of joy. I've been blazing a trail. I've been reaching my goals. People try to discount me, but now they all can see. Having faith in myself showed just who I can be. Don't forget your options. Don't be forced to conform. Blaze your own trail. Take the world by storm. Thank you.
So thank you very much for joining us today, guys. If you're collecting your results this summer, if you already have them, head over to our college website on bmet.ac.uk. So apply for a place at the college this September. You'll be given a conditional offer and send more information on how to enrol with us closer to the time. From all the team here at BMet, we hope you enjoyed this session and we look forward to welcoming you guys in September. Thank you.